Okay, welcome back to the channel. I wasn't sure whether things were super safe to talk about things yet, but YouTube sent me an email in the middle of last night, and apparently their investigation part is over. There's a little thing, I think some of the videos that I uploaded have gone, so the one about being back, and a couple after that, when I had recovered the Google account, and I thought it would probably be worth just saying what had happened, and that things seem to be back to normal, to try and stop people unsubscribing and try and fix that. But I think maybe as part of the recovery process to secure the account, those have been flagged as being uploaded during the time that I wasn't in control of the channel. Anyway, I know some of you are probably wondering what had happened. From your point of view, what I'm guessing you might have seen is something like either a load of my stuff disappeared, or you went to click on a video of mine that would have been there in the past, and instead it redirected you to Elon Musk talking about crypto or something like that. And now you know that probably 50% of the time on this channel I'm not even talking about crypto, am I? So probably that was a bit of a surprise for you. Anyway, so from my perspective, what happened was so almost a week ago, so last Saturday, I got an email. Now, I get emails fairly often, but never in a way that is particularly interesting to me, offering like whether we'll send you something, this sort of thing. Anyway, so this was from a company, something like Splice. So I guess you might have heard of Splice. They're like a sample library company. This was from a company called cymatics.fm, which apparently I hadn't heard of them, but I checked online and they do exist. And I checked the name of the person at the start of the email. I think I was on my phone when I did this, which is probably why I didn't see the end of the email, or the end of their email address, which was not from @cymatics.fm. It was from like a Korean address, which would have been a red flag. Anyway, so I had this email saying, we're launching something on May the 8th. Would you be interested in running pre-roll on a video or something like that? And so I thought, okay, well, it's a sample library. So at the moment I use Native Instruments Contact, but you see like on every video there's an element of creating something from scratch. And I thought, well, if I'm doing that anyway and I use samples, then presumably this is something I could put together. And pre-roll to me seems ethically kind of the most safe of all of these kind of advertising things, because it's not me kind of presenting it as something that is unbiased or anything. All I have to do is just read what they've said, and I could even read it sarcastically or something. But probably in future I'm not even going to entertain that sort of thing, I don't think, because it's kind of not really worth it. So yeah, anyway, we had some kind of talking back and forth, and I said, well, like maybe I could even, you know, put together a track using cymatic stuff. And the alarming thing was like the email was spelled all correctly and it all seemed like pretty legit, or enough that I didn't have any red flags or whatever. And then kind of they said, well, would you be able to film something before so that we could approve it? And I was like thinking, yeah, that seems fine. And you know, normally with all this sort of stuff, you'd check out the product beforehand anyway, especially if it's like digital stuff, like sample stuff. So they sent me what I thought was a link to check out the sample library. And you know, if it's a sample library, it's going to be a bundle of stuff, and probably, you know, like if you've worked with Native Instruments and all of this stuff before, you have to download like a sample library. So that seemed fine. So they sent me a link to that, and I went to download it, and Windows Defender went, nah, we're not touching that, and kind of axed it. So I just sent them an email back and said, look, Windows Defender's not going to work that, so have you got an alternative or anything? So they sent me an alternative, and that did like the mouse spinny wheel type thing, but didn't actually run. So I just sent them an email back and said, look, that won't run either. And they said, all right, give us like 3 days and we'll send you something. The team will send you an email in 3 days or something like that. Meanwhile, I was just doing the normal stuff that I do, like creating the next video for the channel. I think I was creating the Pod Go one, and I finished kind of editing it at about 7 o'clock. So this would have been on the 30th of April. And then as I went to upload it, I kind of noticed that I wasn't, well, for a moment, I think I went to press sign in or something, or went to check, That little logo in the top right hand corner that would have normally been like me playing a guitar had changed to the thing, and the name of the channel had changed to that other thing that you saw, which I don't particularly want to say just in case that's, I don't know, drawing attention to it. But then it was pretty clear. I had an email saying that my Gmail address had been upgraded, whatever that means, and consequently everything, I was kind of locked out of that Google account and that YouTube, and obviously then I couldn't do anything. And then I saw what you saw, which was that the channel had kind of been hijacked. I think that's the term. If you Google YouTube hijack and the name of the thing that it was, then you'll see it's happened quite a lot. So obviously that's kind of what happened, and from there it was quite a lengthy process to try and get someone's attention at YouTube. So we had to kind of tweet Team YouTube, which was a thing. And then also I think I logged in and I found somewhere in the back kind of alleys of Google help that at some point there's like a thing where you can chat or email, and I went to click chat and it wouldn't work, but I went to click email and it came up with a form somewhere where you could fill out the details of what had happened. And so then it was just a case of filling that out and waiting for people to reply, and then replying and all of that stuff, and you know, proving that the account had been hacked and all of that stuff, and sending them back and forth, the emails that I still have. Obviously I don't know whether I should show them, probably not. It doesn't seem like a great idea. I might make myself a target again. Yeah, showing them the emails. And then I also had an email where the person had kindly said, we streamed your channel good, for $500 we could reinstate access for you, or give you access back. I didn't think I should trust that. And so yeah, I think yesterday, or no, today even at like 4 a.m. in the morning, I got an email from YouTube saying that everything was roughly back to normal. Now obviously I'm just telling you this because I think a few of you guys were interested to know what had happened. It's not anything much more complicated than that. I think it's a thing that basically the trick to this phishing stuff is that they want you to click that link, because generally on your computer you're going to be logged into certain things. So like on that computer at the time I had it logged into YouTube, and so all it needs to do is that, and then it can nab your session cookies apparently, and then it doesn't even need to log into your YouTube to change all this stuff because it's already there. So I don't know how any of this works. I did have two-step verification and authentication set up. All of the passwords and stuff were different, but if they can get you to click that and try and download that thing and then run it, then clearly they can do what they like, basically. So this computer that I'm recording on now is no longer connected to the internet until I can get confirmation from a friend that there's nothing weird going on with it anymore. And I'm no longer leaving anything signed in, because that apparently is a way that he can catch you out, clearly. And so I don't know anything about internet safety or any of these sorts of things except for the normal stuff, but two-step verification wasn't enough, and I didn't get any notifications that any of the details had been changed. So clearly whatever they're doing is going to bypass quite a lot of that. And yeah, so that's, you know, where things are at. I'm going to try and follow up with YouTube whether I can re-upload those 3 videos that got taken down for whatever reason, or whether there was a reason that they were taken down. I don't think there was. It was just talking about pentatonics and talking about I Think I'm Back, and I think there was another video on how I actually record, so the process and that. So I still have those videos, and once I get the okay that those were manually, or not manually taken down, but like part of a process where they're trying to secure the channel, then I'll either see if they can reinstate those videos or re-upload them. In the meantime, the channel, obviously, as people noticed that it was no longer John Cordy playing guitar, I think quite a few of you guys might have unsubscribed or whatever, which I completely understand. If I'd ask if you could maybe like and comment on this video, maybe share it to a friend, or I know, speaking to some of you guys on Skype, that some of you have other friends who watch the channel and stuff, and maybe if we can try and sort of organically let YouTube know that this stuff is kosher again, that might help, but I'll just carry on doing what I'm doing. I think I'm going to offer a few Skype lessons and stuff where I can fit them in a week, not like make it my main thing, but it's been quite enjoyable to talk to a few of you guys. Hopefully it wasn't a total waste of your time, and a normal service should be resuming, I'm hoping. So that's what happened. I'd suggest if you do have a YouTube account, maybe you sign out of it, because, or yeah, just be super careful, I guess, when you get emails about stuff, because it turns out it's not actually that super well protected if you do try to run a thing. And typically what I find in the music world is that a lot of the files that we run are not necessarily flagged as being super okay, you know, like the fractal audio FM3 edit and stuff. Some of that gets flagged a little bit by Windows Defender and malware stuff. So it's like, because it's quite a niche product, I don't think they have excellent authentication and stuff like that. So that for me again was another red flag, or not a red flag, because I'm so complacent about generally files that come from sources, you know, like other music companies or gear companies. They're not always even launched or authenticated, so it's a bit of a, that's how they got it. So yeah, if you want this preset, leave a comment and I'll drop that into the folder as well. There will be some changes coming up to the way that I share those folders, I think. So if you have access to them now, I would kind of just download them, because I need to sort that out as well. Thank you for stopping by. And again, if you could share this video, subscribe or like, comment, whatever you can do to help it in YouTube world know that it's actually me and not giving crypto advice, that'd be great. Cheers.